This is an Unsolicited Perspectives YouTube exclusive.
Okay, Jay, on the continuation from the topic that we were discussing on the podcast, on this YouTube exclusive, I want to specifically talk about Beyoncé winning Country Album of the Year and some of the backlash that she received for winning an award. So Beyonce's win is particularly significant as she is the fourth Black woman to win Album of the Year, and in the first since Lauryn Hill in 1999. The historical context underscores the long-standing accusations of racial bias in the Grammy Awards. Critics have pointed out that the Grammys have historically been overlooking Black artists, particularly Black women, in major categories. Some have argued that Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter is the most legible to the Recording Academy because it incorporates traditional white symbols and collaborators, suggesting that she had to cater to whiteness in order to be heard. Some have even viewed Beyoncé's win as part of a broader effort by the Grammys to redress past mistakes and acknowledge artists who have been historically snubbed. The Recording Academy CEO, Harvey Mason Jr., addressed past snubs as a lack of diversity in his opening speech. This sentiment suggests that the 2025 Grammys were kind of a mea culpa for artists who have faced a lack of representation in the past. Now, I saw something that was really interesting online. There's a guy that created, because Beyoncé has gotten flack from country music fans saying it's not a country music album.
Yeah.
So what this guy did is, by using AI, he changed the voice to a white man's voice using Beyonce's Country Carter songs. So all he did was do the voice, right? So instead of Beyonce's voice, he just subbed it out for a white man. And the songs, because some people didn't listen to the album because they didn't believe Beyonce could do a country album. People were like, oh, this song kicks, this song rocks, when it was replaced by a white man. So I wanted to specifically get your impressions on the racial component of Beyonce and Cowboy Carter.
So first of all, anybody who says that she was somehow catering to whiteness with this album, there's several things wrong with that. One, Beyonce doesn't do that. She doesn't have to. She's Beyonce. And she said that like many times. She said something to that effect of like, I do what I want to do. And she can, because she's Beyonce. Like, let's be honest, Beyonce doesn't have to cater to anyone. She can honestly retire today and still be considered one of the top entertainers and artists of all time. So she sells out everywhere, millions of records, billions of streams. Like, you got to be kidding me. Beyonce doesn't need to cater to anyone. And secondly, anyone who thinks that she's catering to whiteness somehow by making a country album doesn't understand the history of country, bluegrass, and Americana in this country.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Like, you clearly don't understand that this was born out of music from Black folk. Period. And so also, yeah, there were some white people on the album, but there was also Rhiannon Gibbons. And there was also, let me think. Oh God. There were so many Black artists on this album. Robert Randolph. There was, oh gosh, there were so many artists, but there was a lot of Black artists. Willie Jones. She referenced Linda Martell, Raina Roberts, Tanner Adele. There are plenty of Black artists on this album, because again, Beyonce understands the history of country music and the place of Black people within country music. And it is America and the critics and the fans who have forgotten about our place in country music. So, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, it kind of makes sense on this regard. And this is what I mean by that is, people obviously didn't listen to the album. They just decided to criticize it because it was Beyonce. One opinion stated that the lyrics and the beats were mediocre, with some songs leaning more towards pop, and that her accent sounded forced, not realizing she's from
Yeah,
Houston.
and you can hear when she talks, she has an accent. She has a Texas accent. Like
Yep.
I just
Yeah, I don't. This has led to some backlash with individuals expressing that there's nothing country about Beyonce and that her win is an example of DEI and that is undeserved. And there was a lot of people that were pissed off because she won this, and you had Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift not winning any awards. And so, yeah, there is a huge racial component, and there goes that DEI again. Every time somebody wants to talk about DEI, it's always the racial component to DEI.
it's
That's
always blackness.
yes.
It's
And
always blackness. When you talk about affirmative action, when you talk about DEI and DEI initiatives, it is always erroneously boiled down to Black people getting handouts.
all the
And
time.
that's just not what it is. That's not what DEI is. That's not what affirmative action was, because it doesn't exist anymore. Like, this is, my God.
As you
My
said,
God.
the album is a banger. This is well
Yes.
deserved. This is just
Yes.
another example of, once again, Black person wins something, and they had to win it not because they were the best at what they did, but
Yes.
because of some other means that was unfair to anybody else. And this is just, it's Beyonce.
Yeah. It's Beyonce Knowles and Knowles Carter. And listen, it is always so interesting to me. This meritocracy conversation never extends to Black people because the inherent assumption is that we don't possess the merit under any circumstances.
Mm.
And that any place that we have gotten to, anything that we have achieved, the completely disregard, one, natural talent, two, the extreme hard work and dedication that got us there. You completely discount our merit. And we were there simply as a token. I just find that so interesting that the meritocracy conversation never ever extends to Black people.
Yeah, I mean, if you question Beyonce, who is the greatest, or as of right now, the biggest
The
Black,
greatest working entertainer right now.
okay, I'll give you Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift we working too. And their tours, both of them touring. They're the two biggest artists,
Yes.
along with what's my man, the rapper, the Puerto Rican rapper,
Oh, Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Those
Yes.
three.
Yes.
Okay, they're the top.
Yeah.
If you're questioning Beyonce, who is the best of the best, I really don't have nothing, because they question
Yeah.
Barack Obama. Like, if you question the best of the Black folks, then that right there is telling me that you just don't believe Black people are worthy. And if that is your basis for your argument, I don't have nothing to talk to you about.
Yeah. If the basis for your argument, and when we saw this when Kamala Harris was running for president, and you had that one senator saying she was a DEI hire, even though she was literally the most experienced person to ever run for the position, the inherent thought or the inherent idea in that, when you just dismiss Black people as DEI or affirmative action hires, is that you do not think that we belong at the table. We don't belong in the room. We don't belong at the table. We don't have any merit aside from whether or not we can dribble or throw a ball.
And that's on you.
And that's on you. Like, because at the end of the day gonna end and Beyonce is gonna go to sleep and on a mattress made of baby angel wing feathers.
Okay.
How she get it? We don't know. Beyonce is going to sleep comfortably with her beautiful family and her very, very rich and famous life. Like, are you kidding me? And you're sitting at home talking about how she doesn't have any merit, and you couldn't even come close to what she has done in a 30-year career. You couldn't come close.
In anything.
And the amount of work, the things that she's given up and sacrificed as far as having a normal life. I mean, she's trying to build it, have her kids and everything and try to make as normal life as possible while being Beyonce Knowles. But like the amount of work and dedication and doing it as a young Black woman in the entertainment industry, standing up for herself, saying what she's owed and what she's earned. Like, come on, man. You can't even get close. You can't touch her. Please. This was deserved, and that's all I got to say about that.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a YouTube exclusive.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.